Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode number 23 of the Courtside Podcast. Happy Sunday. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe, having a blessed summer break. If you're traveling, stay safe, stay warm, and stay active. But anyway, in today's video, we are going to be recapping Jaylen Brown winning NBA Finals MVP. What are my thoughts about it? Plus, the real reason why I thought the Mavs lost the NBA Finals. And also discuss about the hiring of JJ Redick from the Los Angeles Lakers and a bunch more. Now, before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn that post notification bell, like this video, and comment down below what you think your team needs to do this offseason. And without further ado, let's hop into the video. Okay, so let's talk about Jaylen Brown winning NBA Finals MVP because I don't know if you guys remember last episode. I forgot to mention that in the uh, last episode, so I apologize for that. I was just really really tired, like unbelievably tired. Like I even am a week later really tired. I had a really bad sleep schedule this past couple days. So if I look a little like groggy or like not like focused, that's the reason why. So I apologize for that. But my initial thoughts about Jaylen Brown win NBA Finals MVP. Honestly, I was kind of shocked about him winning because, and I said this to my brother about this. Game one and game two, Jaylen was one like took it. Like he guarded Luca heavily. He was like the primary like shutdown like defender on Luca in the finals, and a little bit on Kyrie, but mainly Luca. So I was really surprised about that. And then game three, I thought Tatum took it by like a storm. Like I thought Jason had an unbelievable game. I think Jason like had 31 points in that game, if I'm not mistaken. He had like a mean either a triple double or close to triple double. I can't remember. It's been like a week, so I apologize for that. But and then game four, like despite like getting absolutely obliterated, and I mean absolutely obliterated, I thought Tatum won that game as well because I watched like the first quarter of that game and I thought Jason Tatum was hunting. I thought he was like saying, you know what, I'm gonna set the tone. I'm gonna try to get some easy buckets here. And I think Jason had like 11 or so points in the first quarter, despite game blown out. So like I thought, excuse me, I thought Jason, you know, got it, you know, in game four. And then in game five, I thought Jason Tatum had an absolutely stellar performance. I think he had like a triple double in this game. I have to double check that. All right. Let me see. What was the game? Like 14th it was? I think it was the 14th. Let me see. God, it's been a while during the NBA seasons. Let me okay. I have it on here right now. Let me see. Yeah, Tatum had 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists. So honest, and then I thought Jalen. So and I thought, yep, Jason Tatum's gonna win Finals MVP, but they ended up giving it Jaylen Brown. And honestly, I'm not surprised because I thought Jalen was arguably the most consistent player, even though my reasoning behind Jason possibly winning it is kind of factual in a way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not too mad about it. I love both players. I wish the media could stop being like, oh, does Jalen hate Jason? Does Jason hate Jalen? Like, can we please stop that? Like these guys literally coexist with each other. All right. Like I still think this duo is like one of the best duos in the NBA. Like scoring, they could score at like they can score. Uh they can play make a little bit. You know, they're not like full on like playmakers, you know, but they can play make to a certain degree. They're both very good shutdown defenders. I think Jalen is a good defender. Jason's a good defender. You know, so like I think they're both very solid players. All right. I think they're going to be a very good duo. If you ask me, Kuhn, where does Jalen and Jason rank in your top 10 duos? They're my top five, because I think they just won the chip, you know. I think they are a very, very talented team. They are one of the most talented teams, duos. Um, they both can drop 25 consistently, even though Jason kind of struggled a little bit in the finals, I have to admit, but like they know how to play well with each other. So, what do you guys think? Did Jaylen Brown deserve NBA Finals MVP, or should have gone to Jason Tatum? Celtics fans, let me know. All right, because I thought Jason should have been Finals MVP just because of how he played from games 3 through 5. But I'm not too mad. Like I said, but I'm not too mad about Jalen winning it. Who do you think deserved it more? And let me know in the comment section below. All right, so now we're going to talk about the losers of this, and that was the Dallas Mavericks. The real reason why the Dallas Mavericks lost. And I'm not sure if I brought this up last episode. So if I did, uh, let me know in the comment section below. I just I felt like I didn't talk about it. So what was the real reason why the Mavs lost? And to me, the real reason why I thought personally the Mavs lost was because they they didn't have a third scorer. They didn't have a consistent third option. Like I even told this to my brother going into the finals. Like if Dallas wants to beat Boston or at least put up a fight against Boston in this series, they're gonna have to get a guy that gives them 15 consistently, like for how as long as the series is. Like if they're like playing like an actual 7 game series, like the series has to go in 7 or else like it doesn't count. They needed a guy to give them 15 consistent. All right, we know what we're gonna get with Kyrie, Luka, and we kind of know what we're gonna get with Kyrie. Granted, he kind of struggled in that series against Boston. All right, so that should be said. But like, yeah, like Kyrie and Luka, we know what they're gonna do. We just needed a guy that was very consistent that can give them 15 a night. And that is why I did not. That's why I thought Boston was gonna win this series. Not because I like Boston, like I'm glazing Boston. Okay. I just thought Boston had guys that can give Jalen and Jason 15 to 20 a night. Heck, we even saw like Drew Holiday like go for like what 21 points, I think in like game 3 it was. Like they had guys that can give them 15, 20 a night. Dallas, like, yeah, they had to a certain point, but like let's be real honest, it wasn't like consistent enough. So that's why I thought it, and I also that's why I thought, excuse me, that Dallas lost this series against Boston was because they didn't have a third guy to be consistent. I like, and for that, that's why I picked Boston to win the series, not because I don't like Dallas. I just thought Dallas, like, first of all, Dallas does not have a shutdown defender. All right, they have guys that can shut down, but they don't have like a Drew Holiday, a Draymond Green in the aspect of okay, we're gonna shut down your best player, or we're gonna make your player work. Let's say this player, let's say Kai, for example, Kyrie had averaged 25 during this postseason. I don't know what he averaged in real life. Okay, this is just like a what if scenario. I and I'm the Celtics, but I'm like, okay, Kai, I understand you had a great bounce back I know you had a great postseason, but if you want to get to 25, I'm gonna have to make you work to get to 25. If you get what I'm saying. Like Dallas, yeah, they had guys, but like Boston had guys that are like, hey, we're gonna shut you down. And for that, that's why I picked Boston to win the series, was because I just thought Boston was the better team, like better personnel. All right. I did say Dallas was going to take 1 game. I did say that. But right now, I just think Boston is they're just lethal. And I just wish, and I can't believe the media picked Dallas to pick Boston to win the series. Like I still can't grasp that. Like I remember I was watching a clip on YouTube on First Things First, which is one of my favorite Fox Sports shows to watch on YouTube. And they were talking about like what was your takeaway from Dallas beating Minnesota, beating OKC, and all they said no offense, because I respect Nick Wright, I respect Chris Broussard, I respect Kevin Wildes. You know, they were saying like, "Oh, this is why Dallas should be the favorite to win the championship." No, for me, if you ask me, what did they show me? They showed me that they can play with the big boys. Like they are going, and also they can put up a fight against any team that can stand in their way. Not because they're the title favorites. Don't believe that nonsense. Okay, they had they can put up a fight with anybody. All right, now then, but yeah, that's my biggest takeaway in that. I know I'm rambling on and on. I'm just gassed today. All right, but anyway, moving on to our next topic, we're going to discuss briefly about what is the likely scenario for the Boston Celtics moving forward? Is it them becoming a dynasty of them or them going back to back? And honestly, I had a hard time choosing in this question. Like this one was kind of hard for me a little bit. Um, I would say they're most likely going to go back to back than they are a dynasty because I look at the East right now as a collective. I don't think anyone's going to beat them in the East unless something drastic happens there. I still think Boston should be the best team in the East. I think they are the number one team in the East. They're the defending champs. They're returning most of their guys. I think they're returning their top six: Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis. But I still think they should be the favorites. And I'm gonna be watching what Denver does this offseason because if you guys remember, I think when I discussed about Denver why they lost was because their bench was not that good. So I'm gonna be watching what they do with their bench. But if their bench could play solid and we know solid basketball like what they did last year in their finals run, and we know what we're capable of seeing with their starting five when they're all clicking, they're an absolute juggernaut. I still think they should be the favorites in the West. But hey, it's like late June, so we don't know yet. Only time will tell. But yeah. So let me know two things. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree with what was your reason why the Mavs lost the finals in your opinion. And with all due respect, please don't say, oh, just because Boston was the better team. I want like a good answer. And then secondly, which is most likely going to happen for the Celtics moving forward. If in terms of if they become a dynasty, most likely become a dynasty, or they're going to go back to back. All right. But for me personally, I think they're most likely going to go back to back. But like I said, I'm going to be watching what happens this offseason. Because this offseason is going to be very interesting for a lot of teams. Speaking of the Celtics, we're going to discuss who the biggest threat is to the Boston Celtics and why, because they touched base on this on First Take. So I want to get my opinion out. For me personally, I think, and before you say anything, I have some reason behind it. I think Brian Windhorst, who's an NBA reporter, who, as many of you guys know, he's been covering LeBron since LeBron was in high school. Wendy, I think, said the Knicks, the Sixers, and the Bucks. Udonis Haslam, who was just added to the First Take rotation, said the Miami Heat. Kendrick Perkins said the Knicks. My answer, and I know it sounds kind of crazy considering that prior to that during this season I was bashing this team nonstop. I still think it's Milwaukee because I just think, Milwaukee, even though Boston won the championship, and let me say this, I knew they were going to win it this year. I knew it. I just think when you have Dame, Giannis, Chris, and Brooke healthy, they could pose a threat. In the East, you got Miami, who for all of a sudden is starting to become like the good old days back when me and my brother were kids, in terms of how many times these two teams play each other. But right now, I will give the edge to probably the Knicks because I think the Knicks, and I told this to my brother a couple of days ago. The reason why the Knicks lost to the Pacers was because they were so gassed. For anyone that doesn't know what the word gas means in sports, it's like a sports term for like they were just very tired. Like we saw that series. Like I think during that series, they had like so many players like injured. Like they already had like Julius Randle, Bogdan Bogdanovic already hurt. Excuse me, sorry. I think they had like Mitchell Robinson like in and out of the lineup. So like that was kind of crazy. Um, who else? Yeah, Josh Hart had to come out of the game. Jalen Brunson had to come out of the game. OG Anunoby had to come out of the game. And out of all the teams in the East, like if you're talking financially and like draft picks per se, the Knicks have the most draft picks and the most like I think they have the most cap space. I'm not entirely sure about that, but they do. So they know they are going to get a star. Now the question is, what star are they going to get though? I've heard like Paul George, LeBron, even like I don't know, but I think the Knicks are going to make a splash this summer, and trust me, I'll make a reaction to it if I can. If I can. So right now, I would say either Miami or Milwaukee are the biggest threat to Boston just because they know how to beat Boston. And I think with Milwaukee, I think they blew them out the two times they played each other. I'm not entirely sure, but like they know how to beat Boston. All right, but we'll see what happens, you know. But we'll see. Like I said, but I would say Miami or Boston. Now we're gonna briefly talk about the Western Conference. Because why not? So the next part of our discussion is we're gonna talk about the Western Conference and talk about who is the favorite in the Western Conference. Because as you know, the West this year was very like in terms of who was the bet, who was like who should be favored outside Denver because they won the chip. Like it was kind of mixed. So who is the favorite to win to represent the West in the finals? I think Denver should be the favorite just because they have the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic. Um, they got excuse me, they have one of the best non-all stars in Jamal Murray. They have what's his name? Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. Um, so they have guys. The question I have with the Nuggets though is their bench. Like as I alluded to like a couple weeks ago when they got eliminated, their bench was absolutely awful. And we saw it against I think who was it? Against um Minnesota. Like Minnesota had a guy off the bench, Naz Reid and Kyle Anderson and Nikhil Alexander Walker that can give them a spark. The Nuggets, they didn't have that. Like, had they kept Jeff Green and Bruce Brown, I thought they would have beaten Minnesota. But hey, let's see what, like I said, let's see what happens this offseason. I also think OKC is going to be a threat. Um, I say Denver should be the favorite. And then I think OKC, Minnesota, and yes, I'm going to put them on there whether you like it or not. I still think Phoenix is coming for vengeance. And before you get on my ass for saying, oh, you're just glazing the Phoenix Suns, look, let me tell you this right now. This team did not, I know they got swept, and I understand that. All right. And granted, they're two different teams. We saw what happened with Minnesota last year when they got Rudy Gobert for the first time. It took a while to get used to Rudy and Carl because both of them played center. One of them had to play like a different position. I still think Minnesota, not Minnesota, Phoenix. I still think this trio can work. Now, do they need a point guard? Yes, they do need a point guard. I also think they need another shutdown defender. The reason why I say that is because KD is getting old, and as many of you guys know, I love Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is one of my favorite NBA players of all time. But he is getting old. They need a guy that can be a shutdown defender on their team, you know. And I also think they need a rim protector. And that's just me. So yeah. So let me know in the comment section below who you think is the favorite, who you think should pose a threat to Boston, and who do you think should be uh the what's it called? What's that phrase called? The favorites in the West. And also give me your dark horse. I'm very curious to hear about what you guys say about your dark horses when to represent the East and represent the West, because I feel like there's a lot of under the radar teams heading into this year. So let me know in the comment section below. All right, not trying to rush or anything, but to wrap things up, we are going to be doing something that I think should be interesting. And that is I am going to be seeing giving you guys off-season priorities. So basically, I'm going to be going through a tier list of NBA teams. I'm going to tell you what they need to do this off-season. All right, I'll explain as we go, but basically how this works out is this. I have this tier list, as you can see on my screen right here. And basically they have all 30 teams, and I'm going to put them on this tier, which is off-season priorities, and I'm going to explain to you what I think they need to do and give like a short explanation why I want to do it. Now, keep in mind, these are based on my opinions and what I saw from them a little bit of when I watched them. But for now, just bear with me. All right, so to start things off, we got the Houston Rockets. I think the Rockets, for me, honestly don't know. Maybe get like another, uh, probably another score, a dynamic score on their team, just because I think when I watched the Rockets last year, granted, I didn't watch a ton of them last year, but like this team was very frisky last year. Like they were young, they were like kind of a youngish team per se, but like I just wish they got like a dynamic score, you know, because I really think if they got a dynamic score, you accompany that with the roster they have with like vets like Dylan Brooks, what's his name? Fred VanVleet, a rising stars in Alfred Şengün and Jalen's what's his name? Oh God, I forgot his name. Jalen Green. Yeah, Jalen Green. Sorry, I blanked out. Jalen Green. Like I think this team could be very good. Up next, we got the Boston Celtics. Honestly, nothing right now. I don't know. Like Celtics fans, let me know what you guys think need to do this offseason, because honestly, I don't know what you guys should do. Like you guys just won the championship. Um, but yeah. Up next, we got Golden State. Figure out a way to keep Klay Thompson. All right. Or if it's the end of the dynasty, find another like score on their team to accompany Steph, because Steph is not gonna drag this team for how long is the NBA season again? Like 6 months, right? They start in October. 6 months. Like so, no. Up next, we got the Miami Heat. Right now, I think they should get another star, and like, but the question is, which stars should they get? Is the biggest question. Because they obviously like they kind of struggled a little bit. They got bounced in the first round. If they could get a score like maybe like Donovan Mitchell on their team, that would be awesome. But right now, I think they just need just a score. Moving on, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. God, Minnesota. Oh God, Minnesota. I think they should get maybe a point guard, because I think Mike Conley is getting older. They need like a very solid point guard on their team, so I would say get a point guard. Up next, we got the Knicks. Get a superstar on your team, no matter the cost. Like the thing with the Knicks is they have so many draft picks, and they have I think they're like have a lot of expiring contracts on the team. Go after a star this offseason. Go after a star. Moving on, we got the OKC Thunder, a rim protector, because they got absolutely shredded when they played Dallas. So I would say, yeah, just get a like rim protector. Moving on, we got the Pistons. Oh Lord. Right now, they need everything. But I would say right now, I would get, yeah, everything. I'm gonna leave it at that. Up next, we got the Kings. Honestly, I don't know what the Kings should get. Right? Because like, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry if I'm like annoying you guys with my yawn. I'm just a little fatigued right now. But the Kings, honestly, I don't even know what they should get, to be honest with you. Like, probably enough like a 3-and-D wing, maybe. At least that's what I think. Like Kings fans, let me know, what do you guys think you need to do this offseason, as well as the other teams, except for maybe the Celtics. What does your team need to do this offseason? Because honestly, I don't even know. Up next, we got the Bucks. You need to get a shutdown defender on your team somehow, some way. I thought they should have gotten Alex Caruso, because hear me out on this, and let me know in the comment section below how scary this lineup sounds when healthy. Dame, Alex Caruso, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. To me, and granted, they're two different teams, and they have two different players. This kind of reminds me of the poor man's Golden State Warriors with this lineup. If they had Alex Caruso, like that would have been a very disgusting lineup. Or get Marcus Smart. Get Marcus Smart. Up next, we got the Clippers. I should ask my Clippers friend Aiden this, because he would probably know what to do. But right now, I would say find a way to keep Paul George. Because there's been rumors about Paul George leaving. Not the Clippers right now. So find a way to keep him by any chance. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Up next, we got the Jazz. Jazz, I don't even know what they need to do. Like, probably get a little bit younger, maybe. Get a little bit younger, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Up next, we got the Raptors. I honestly don't know what to make of the Raptors this upcoming season, because they're a very weird team to dissect a little bit. You know, Probably get a little bit more younger. That's what I'm thinking. Up next, we got the Nuggets. Get a bench. Like, you gotta find a way to get Bruce Brown back somehow, some way. Like their bench was like, I remember their bench was absolutely atrocious this year. Like, but like they gotta get a guy who could come out the bench and give them a spark. All right. Moving on, we got the Hawks. Hawks, I would either say blow it up with DeJounte Murray and Trae Young, or find a way to make it actually work. Because honestly, like I think this duo is very solid, but right now, like either blow it up or blow it up or like try to figure out a way to work it out. All right, I'm gonna do the Hornets here. Next up, we got the Hornets. Keep getting younger. Like I think the Hornets right now are a very young team. I think this team is still very young. You know, but right now, like yeah, just keep on getting young. Keep on getting young. Moving on, we got the Pelicans. Okay, why isn't the Pelicans? Oh, right, here we go. Pelicans. Pelicans? Oh God. I would say the Pelicans. Oh wait, I already put the Pelicans. Uh Figure out a way to make Brandon Ingram, Zion, and Bi Zion, and like CJ McCollum to work. You know, and maybe get a defensive center, maybe get a rim protector. Then we got the Bulls. Either run it back with Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and maybe if he comes back, Lonzo Ball. But blow it up. Like, yeah, just blow it up. I don't know. That's just me. Oh, so sorry, guys. Moving on, we got the Mavs. Get a 3-and-D wing that can also give you give you 15 and 20 a night. Because I have a feeling there's going to be a night where Luka and Kyrie decide to sit out at the same game. So like you gotta get someone that could provide that spark. If they get like a guy like Kyle Kuzma, I think they could be a legitimate dark horse in the West. Up next, we got the Nets. Find a way to get draft picks. I don't know the situation from the Nets right now. I know they have like draft picks from the KD trade, but like a lot of people are saying they don't have enough per se, which doesn't make sense to me. But find a way to get draft picks and like try to get a little bit younger. At least in my opinion. Up next, we got the Spurs. Try to get a point guard. All right, because Wemby wants to compete now. He wants to compete. All right, because this guy is the real deal. I think Wemby is the real deal. I've officially said he's a metahuman. In my last video, like find a way to keep him, like get him a point guard that can help him become better. Up next, we got the Sixers. Try to get a superstar. Try to get a superstar like a Paul George or maybe LeBron, maybe this offseason, you know. But yeah. Oh, great. Really? Oh my God. We got the Grizzlies. Run it back. They I honestly don't know what to do with the Grizzlies because like they had like an injury plague season this year, so like I don't know what they should do. They should just run it back with the same core. Moving on, we got the Cavs. Another team that should either run it back or blow it up. Keep either Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell. You can't choose one. You can't choose two. Um, Next up, we got the Lakers. Oh God, probably get a point guard and maybe some bench up because their bench was horrible last year because they didn't have a lot of depth last year. But get a serviceable point guard on your team. All right, but I don't know. Up next, we got the Pacers. Um, Maybe get another score. Maybe. All right, because I like what their core is right now with Halliburton. When he comes back, what's his name? Bank Matherin, and a bunch of others. But like, run it back. Like this team is gonna be good. Up next, we got the Wizards. Keep on getting younger, I guess. I mean, that's what I think. I'm not entirely sure what the Wizards are gonna do. Maybe like get even more younger, like start something new. But hey, that's just me. Up next, we got the Phoenix Suns. Like I said, they need a point guard. They need a point guard, and there's no buts about it. They need a point guard, and they probably need to get a 3-and-D wing, maybe, and maybe a rim protector, maybe a rim protector. Because we know what the capable of the big three of Booker, Beal, and Durant in terms of scoring, but they just need a guy that can facilitate it all. Moving on, we got the Magic. Um, get a guy that can get like a shooter. And I'm talking guys like maybe like Klay Thompson, maybe. I know I heard a lot of people said Klay Thompson. Like get a player that is like a 3-and-D like shooter. And I think this team could be freaking dangerous. And finally, the Blazers. What should the Blazers do this offseason? Honestly, just keep on getting younger. Keep on getting younger. Develop Scoot a little bit more. I would keep Anthony Simons. I would keep Jeremy Grant, but like keep on getting younger. So what do you guys think? What teams do you think? Do you agree with? What teams do you disagree with? Let me know in the comment section below. But that's about it. Now I know I said that was the last activity I had to do. I apologize. I just realized I had to do one more activity, and that was talking a little bit about the big news that happened last week, and that was JJ Redick becoming the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. So I have to basically give my thoughts about it. Honestly, I'm very not surprised, you know, but at the same time, I don't think it's gonna work. Like I've seen this trick so many times with Laker coaches over the years. Like, and I mentioned this to my brother the other day. Some of the Lakers coaches, like the way they got fired was not their fault. Like Frank Vogel just won a championship in his stint, and then he had an injury plagued season, and then he had to work with a roster that he did not, that was not like defensive minded because Frank's the defensive minded head coach, and I got Russ on his team, even though like it got a little bit heated, but like, and then all of a sudden he gets fired. All right, Darvin Ham. All right, takes this team to the Western Conference Finals in his first year. And the next year, they get bounced in the first round. And what do I get on my phone the next day in terms of notification? Darvin has been fired. Like some of these Lakers coaches like get fired for like no good reason. Like and I said this to my brother the other day with Darvin Ham. Like they drew the Nuggets. In case you guys don't know, the Nuggets have always have owned the Lakers these past couple years. Like they should have gotten the Lakers in the first round. They should like. What I'm saying is this: the Lakers. I don't know how to put this rightly, so if it sounds like kind of wrong, let me know in the comment section below. I'm just doing the best I can, but like it's not Darvin Ham's fault that he drew the Nuggets in the first round. It's not his fault. They could have done what Mike Greenberg, who's one of my favorite analysts on ESPN, or as everyone likes to call him, Greeny, says, like, they should have like sat LeBron and AD out against the Pelicans. I think this was like game 5 between these two or game 4. And then go up against the Kings or the Lakers, not the Lakers, the Warriors, battle out there, and then match up with the OKC Thunder. And then had New Orleans deal with Denver. Like, I don't understand to this day why some of these coaches get fired because their team underperformed. It's not their fault that they drew the worst match. Like I told this to my brother the other day. Like, it's not Darvin's fault that he drew the Nuggets and that they won against the Pelicans. All right. I thought Darvin should have been fired. I know a lot of people, Lakers fans, said he should have been fired, but for me, they should have just run it back and if they drew Denver again and they got bounced against Denver again, like then you can fire. But after 2 seasons, really? Like, come on. As for the hiring of JJ Redick, look, I love JJ Redick. I love his podcast. I love his analyst. He's been a phenomenal analyst. I don't know how he's going to work with LeBron and AD, and then Bron. Like, I don't know how he's going to work that. All right. All right. I just feel like I don't know. And if he gets fired, let's be real. If he gets fired, I even told this to my brother. If I want you to if you text me saying, "Oh, JJ Redick got fired," what are your thoughts? I'm just gonna be like, "Not surprised one bit." Like I'm just gonna be like this. Am I surprised? No. So we'll see what happens. All right. I told this to my brother. I'll keep all tabs on the Lakers this year, and give them updates on how JJ Redick does. But if I don't know. That's all I gotta say about it. I don't want to be a negative Nancy. Okay, on this topic, I'm happy for him. He deserves to be it, but he should have coached a younger team, not like a team that has. And I'm sorry for saying this, a diva on their team, LeBron James. I know LeBron's his guy, and the other way around, but I don't know. We'll see what happens this season. I'm gonna be watching it. All right. I'm gonna even have my uncle, who's a Lakers fan, let me know how it's going. But for now, we'll see. And that's gonna do it for this week's episode of the Courtside Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, and I'm hoping to feel a little bit better next week. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. I know it's like 11 o'clock right now, but have a fantastic week. Stay safe, stay warm, stay active. The weather's getting nicer in Portland. I hope hope you guys have a fantastic week, like I said. And until next time, I'm out.